Woolly mammoths could be back on this earth by the end of the decade, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Because a revolutionary biosciences, genetics, and conservation company called Colossal aims to bring them back. The de-extinction of the woolly mammoth will fulfill an almost lifelong curiosity of mine. But much more importantly, bringing them back to the Arctic as a keystone species could be good for the planet as a whole. They really haven't even been gone that long in the grand scheme of things. The last population of woolly mammoths only went extinct about 4,000 years ago on Wrangel Island off the northeast tip of Russia. That means by the time they disappeared, we had already domesticated dogs, wheat, goats, pigs, sheep, cattle, and even guinea pigs. And there were already about 31 pyramids standing in Egypt. By the time Homo sapiens left Africa and entered the mammoth steppe of Europe, Neanderthal people had already been making tools and building materials out of mammoth bones. Then Homo sapiens went up there too and also ate on some mammoths, and also made tools out of their bones. We even made structures with their bones. Actually, human hunting activity was likely one of the few main causes for them going extinct. But when Colossal Biosciences is successful, we will also have brought them back. The plan isn't to make a 100% true woolly mammoth, but to identify genes in the woolly mammoth's genome that make them resistant to cold. And they'll use the gene editing tool CRISPR to implant those genes into an egg cell of an Asian elephant. They'll implant that egg into a healthy surrogate African or Asian elephant mother. Interestingly, the woolly mammoth genome has a 99.6% similar genetic makeup to that of Asian elephants. And Colossal Biosciences has the most complete existing genomes of African elephants, Asian elephants, and woolly mammoths. We've identified at least 65 of these genes within the woolly mammoth's genome that makes them a phenotypically woolly variety of mammoth. Just earlier this month, they announced that they had engineered these super cute woolly mice. They added 7 of these woolly mammoth genes to these little golden red fluff balls. So now they have woolly mammoths in their genes, like I got cheeks in mine. Now, woolly mammoths were about as large as African elephants, the largest land animal on Earth today. But instead of being comparatively hairless like us sphinx cats and modern elephants, they had a thick coarse fur that could reach almost 3 feet in length. So I imagine them taking up way more visual space than African elephants, like the difference between a shaggy dog and a short-haired dog of the same size. They also had tiny ears and shorter tails compared to modern elephants in order to stave off heat loss and stop frostbite. Their large tusks with an inverted curve could be used as shovels to break ice, clear snow, and access food. They even had an almost 4-inch layer of fat under their skin, like dang ol' super chunks. And adults had a big ol' hump on their back that may have stored fat reserves like a camel. Even the hemoglobin in their blood was genetically adapted to the cold. And that helped provide oxygen to their tissues more readily, helped prevent freeze-bite, and possibly even helped them reach higher altitudes. Once Colossal has had success implanting early woolly mammoth embryos into healthy living surrogates, they'll take care of that baby mammoth surrogate mother in a state-of-the-art facility during and after its 22-month gestation. And once them calves are born, they'll be given help with nutrition and socialization to help them thrive. That almost 2-year-long gestation period is why it's so cool and important that they have shown that some of these changes can be efficacious in a mouse model. I mentioned earlier that the de-extinction and reintroduction of the woolly mammoth could be a big win for the planet. And I think it's one of the most important aspects of the project that largely gets slept on in a lot of articles about Colossal's endeavor here. See, the mammoth steppe used to be the world's largest ecosystem. It spanned from France to China to Russia to Canada. It's estimated that when Siberia was a mammoth steppe, there was 100 times more vegetation and animal life than there is there now. With their heavy gaits, huge migration distances, and tendency to root and shovel around, mammoth megafauna trampled mosses and shrubs and exposed topsoil to cold, fresh air. So the thundering steppes of mammoths basically terraformed the mammoth steppe ecosystem. They prevented the development of mossy forests and wetlands, which have taken over in their absence and are much worse at carbon sequestration. They were really very important for maintaining the health of the environment as a keystone species. So bringing them back could help restore the mammoth steppe habitat and protect the planet's biodiversity. Not only that, reviving the mammoth steppe could help reverse the effects of climate change, as all that missing grassland vegetation up there used to help absorb and sequester carbon from the atmosphere. Even more so, that grassy vegetation also helped preserve the permafrost underneath it. Collectively, those layers of permafrost are the largest known reservoirs of carbon in the world that we know about. It would be better for the carbon to stay there instead of rapidly leaking into the atmosphere as the permafrost melts. And on top of all that, Colossal's work with elephant genomics and CRISPR gene editing is actively helping elephants today. Just last year, in partnership with Baylor College of Medicine and the Houston Zoo, it was announced that they had developed and administered the world's first mRNA EEHV vaccine. That stands for Elephant Endotheliotrophic Herpes Virus Vaccine. EEHV is a highly fatal disease, especially for Asian elephants under 10 years old. It's been responsible for about half of all the deaths of young Asian elephants in captivity. Kirby here is fine though, don't worry. So Tess here at the Houston Zoo was the first to receive the newly developed vaccine. And hopefully within the next 5 years we can vaccinate practically all elephants in human care. So bringing back the woolly mammoth is a fantastic, awesome idea on pretty much every level. And I'm really looking forward to the day in the near future where woolly mammoths are back on the planet